I completely forgot. You were well prepared than I was.
I grabbed something last second. I was like, it's here somewhere. I'll just grab this.
I had nothing but an empty cup of coffee and half a piece of pizza. Yeah, like that's all that was left of a breakfast pizza I had. So,
Breakfast pizza?
yeah,
What
I
are they?
mean,
Is it
everybody.
like eggs and sausage and stuff on it, or?
No, but I've thrown that idea out to a couple of pizza places, and they think I'm crazy.
Dude,
But
I'm want one now.
like an eggs, bacon type pizza,
A McPizza from McDonald's.
dude. Hey, no, don't. Let's not throw that out there because
That's a free one, McDonald's.
yeah, McDonald's. We're gonna need some credit on that one. That's
Yeah,
that one.
we charge consulting fees. We know about food.
That's right. You're talking to the experts right now. Welcome to Zia Comics Weekly as we get ready to nerd out for the next half hour. We got a lot of stuff to talk to and a lot of things going on, and it is spooky season as we get ready for Halloween and all great things Halloween. Troy, what is going on, Spooky Troy?
I'm just trying to recover from the weekend. That was more work than I thought it was going to be.
Oh man, of course, talking about El Paso Horrorfest. Break us down with everything. How did everything go? As you got everybody kind of going for the holidays.
Yeah, it was. I don't. We already set the date for the next one. It'll never be in October again. There's
Really?
too much going on. We looked at the convention schedule on our weekend alone. There was 54 events nationwide. So we had to compete for vendors. We had to compete for guests. And then El
Dang.
Paso decided, hey, we're going to throw a whole bunch of events too. They had like a huge, 30,000 attendee country concert there in the ballpark right next to us. The symphony had the Star Wars thing, 3,000 people in the Chavez Center. Disney on Ice was at the Coliseum. All the haunted houses were running full blast. I'm surprised anybody showed up with all that stuff going on.
Dang. So I didn't even realize, like, yeah, there's like, and
Yeah,
then everything is right there too.
we didn't realize either until I looked over in the ballpark. They had the big screen up showing the concert, and then there's a big line at the Chavez Center. I mean, we
Oh
still had a
man.
decent turnout, but man, it would have been so much better without all that other stuff.
So September for next year, maybe to really kick
February.
off. February.
Yeah,
Oh,
because September is too close to Las Cruces Comic Con.
oh, that's true. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
way too much to go from one directly the next week to the other.
Yeah, and I looked at the convention calendar to see the leanest months, and the leanest months are January and February.
Okay.
So we're just going to kick off the whole con season in February. We should be able to get greater guests because there's no other events going on, and
Yeah.
all the vendors won't have any place to go. So we should get some really good vendors.
That's right. And a perfect way to kick off the new year. So yeah, make sure you
Yeah.
guys keep looking out for that. Although I'm sure with all the planning that you guys put ahead to everything, I mean, yes, you're done with El Paso Horror Fest, but then you guys start thinking about Comic-Con and not just
Mhm.
El Paso's, but all the other events that you guys will be having throughout 2024.
Yeah, we already put out the guest who we have down for the guest list so far at El Paso Comic Con. I released that. That's not the final list because that's the thing everybody asks them. But I could put 1,000 people on the guest list, and never anybody else. You go bring anybody. These guys are just never satisfied. But yeah, we
Yeah,
put out the guest list. So
it's called an appetizer, guys. Just take the appetizer and go from there.
yeah, but you don't see the questions I get. Is that all the people? And then they ask, can you bring this person in? And it's usually some really obscure person that only they know about.
You're like, do you have a phone number I can call them? Because nobody knows who this person is.
Yeah, or they go, well, I talked to them and they said they would come to the event. Well, it's I keep telling people it's not a birthday party. I don't send an RSVP yes or no. There's a lot of negotiations and contracts in this thing.
Yeah.
So,
And one of the things that you've mentioned, especially with just the year that you guys have had, there's been a lot of guests that get, last minute because they get work. They're having to get called back to set. They're having to do something. They may not be able to come out because of the writer's strike. I mean, there's just so many things that come up that you're like, okay, it might happen, but these guys are working actors too. So if they get called back to work, I mean, there's nothing you can really do.
No, it's in their contract. It's a clause. If they get called out for professional work, guess what? Null and void.
By the way, people just know that this is not like our jobs where we can call in sick and then just kind of just call in sick and then, we'll go do something else. No, they have a tight schedule, just everybody these days. And you really notice it, man, because I mean, just seeing this year, just it's like clockwork, man. They know they got to be here. I mean, if you watch a lot of their social medias, especially people that have come out to any of the cons or any of the events, just seeing their social media, dude, it is clockwork. We're here at this time. We're gonna be
Yep.
here at this time. We're here there, and then we're in, Dallas next week. It's like, hey, dude, they don't got time.
No, no, and knock on wood, no, we had no cancellations for Horror Fest. So,
Yeah.
but it happens. Every event I count on one or two cancellations, and I just hope it's not my headliners.
Yeah, yeah, no. You guys are kicking butt, man. You guys are definitely you brought some life back into us, especially after the whole COVID thing that happened
Oh,
in 2020, 2021. So it's exciting, man. I always look forward to when we get to the beginning of the year, just some new stuff that we'll be seeing.
yeah, we try to bring a little bit of nerdy to the area.
Hey, man, let your nerd flag fly just a little bit. Just let us
Yeah,
show your nerd. There ain't no problem with that.
no, no, it's accepted now. You can be a nerd.
That's man, that's crazy to think that it's like and I don't know, man, because back in the day, it was definitely tough out there, and now it's just you see the popularity with the cons and just for everything, man. I saw this thing, and it's a '90s con, like, that's bad, man, like, we're considered artifacts at this point.
Yeah,
'90s and all these different things. There's something for everybody, man, and it's so cool.
yeah. The retro things are really big. The retro cons or the reunions from these older movies
Yeah.
where they bring in like most of the cast from like Sandlot. I think it's on what this 30-year anniversary. That made me feel so old.
No, that's just that you know what? This happened, and we were just mentioning this morning to somebody, talking to somebody. We were at an event a couple weeks ago, and to have a kid come up to us and say, "Yeah, I'm in college." It was for a college event. Says, "I've been listening to you since I was in elementary."
Thank you.
Immediately, gray hairs came out right
Yeah,
here and here. I think my hairline started receding even more. Like, I was just like, "Oh,
Martine, bring my walker around.
dude, I need go get the spray paint. I need my hair to be darker again. What's going on?" But
Hey,
no, man, it's so cool, man, because you got a lot of just a lot of the stuff, especially just things that I don't know, it's so weird to say, like things that people were always embarrassed to say they were fans of. And now that we're
yeah,
old, they're like, oh my God, I watched it. When I was a kid. Man, I used
yeah,
to hang out when you were a kid. You would never tell that out loud in public. And now you're going to the conventions to see it.
yeah, yeah. Because I was big into comics growing up, but I didn't really tell anybody.
Yeah.
It
I,
was kind of frowned upon at school.
yeah, you really didn't say that stuff. Like, man, I was watching the X-Men cartoons every Saturday morning. I mean, until I was what, 16, 17. I was still keeping up with a lot of
Yeah,
these things that eventually became, pop culture, the Iron Mans, the Spider-Mans, and everyone's like, "Oh, you just like this Tobey Maguire." No, man, I was really into it as a kid. I collect action figures, man. I was like, I loved them.
yeah, yeah. I went to a really small school, so it was kind of hard to hide it. I mean, our gang was, the FFA guys with the blue quarter walking down the hallway, like on Reservoir Dogs, slow motion, blue
Oh,
corduroys.
I was like, wait, wrong gang. I'm over here saying they're in their jackets. Just
It's the FFA versus the 4-H guys.
see, I mean, that was it, and then you got us in the background that are like, "Hey, y'all see what happened to Spider-Man in the latest edition of So, no, man, it's so cool, man, and I'm just excited for what else is gonna be coming out and just the future of a lot of our favorite stuff from DC, Marvel. One thing that I've been keeping up with is, Power Rangers and just some of the
Mm,
drama that's been going on with them. I guess we'll go ahead and start nerding out, guys. Looks like Power Rangers is preparing for a reboot, and they are getting ready to leave, what is it? New Zealand is where they've been filming for the last
yeah.
30 years.
Mhm.
So, yeah, looks like, they've, and just seeing some of the news reports and just what it's done for the economy in that town where they were filming. There's just so much, and to just see them now leave up no one knows where they're gonna be starting to film because there's a whole new reboot, a whole new story. Like it's starting completely over, and so nobody knows what's going to happen next.
They can film in Las Cruces.
Dude, I mean, you got the schools, you got the sites.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't be mind like, hey man, I can't take Highway 70 because Zordon's filming today.
Yeah. All the Zords could be based out of the Oregon Mountains.
Dude. Well, you've already seen just some of the like even on the comics and like kind of keeping up with like what's been going on with the comics and just the storylines compared to what you see on the TV shows. Man,
Right.
is it so much darker.
Yeah. The comics are, I mean, when they brought in Zach on, or Drakon, I mean,
Yeah.
it got really dark that Tommy died
Yeah.
in the
Oh man,
comics
it's
and in real life. But yeah, it's the comics have a lot more. Recently, they've had a lot more story behind them than they did before, and definitely more than the TV series.
and I'm wondering if that's not what they're starting to see. Maybe we need to kind of just let's end where we're at now because the one that is currently on Netflix, I believe, is the final one, and then the reboot will officially start for next year. So they haven't. It's just they're keeping really hush hush about a lot of this stuff, but it looks like I think they're trying to kind of go with the flow of what the comics are doing. So we may not necessarily get your Saturday morning. Let's save the planet. You may get a little bit more teenager 18,
Teen
19,
angst.
20 year old. Yeah, you're gonna probably get something like that, a little bit more edgy for the series.
I mean, guys like us, they're not making these movies and series for our age. So
No.
if it appeals to the younger kids, do it.
Yeah, they gotta figure something out, but, I mean and it's kinda cool, man, to see just over 30 years. I mean, Power Rangers, you mentioned just like Sandlot, that's 30 years, man, of worth of content. I mean, and this is even longer because for those that don't know, this was a show that was overseas. I mean, we got the leftovers.
Yeah, they repurposed it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a better word, huh? Repurposed.
Yeah, you think that was JDF and Yost and everybody in those outfits? No, that was the Japanese footage.
Yeah. So, man, the drama though, I really wish they would do an untold story about them because there is a lot of drama. I know some people hear about it's the contracts or whatever, but if you ever get one of these guys to really talk, man, do they spill the beans about just the drama happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, we've had a few at the cons, and I've talked to them off the record. And Saban supposedly did them all. Every one of them tell the same story. They got done dirty.
Yeah. Man,
So
just how much money did that company make off the toys, the merch? Yeah, man.
tons.
It's crazy. There's actually something on Netflix. If you guys go and watch and you guys are wondering, well, how much money were they making and generating? There's this thing of popular toys from back in the day. I can't remember what the name of, but it's a
The
show on
toys that
Netflix.
made us.
Toys that made us. And there's actually one all about Power Rangers. And it gives you a little bit of a brief history about it, but it
Hmm.
also tells you just how much money they were making. And it's insane because you're like, that's not possible. But then if you go look in your garage, I still got all my old toys, man. I'm like, yep, they got me.
Yeah, how many little kids had the costumes
Yeah.
in those
And how many
cheap
parents
masks they used to have with the rubber band around the back?
and then it cut you right here because it was plastic, and then you can't do the I'm gonna do the sit-ya! And next thing you know, I got a big old mark right here and
A
the
big paper
rubber
cut.
band. Yeah, the rubber, like you said, the rubber band. My nose is all chafed because the mask didn't fit correctly. And then I got a bigger head than normal. So the mask is just like right here to me, and the rest of my face is
But you didn't care.
you did it, man, because you were the Green Ranger.
Yeah. You had 4 Green Rangers.
4 Green Rangers. Where's the other ones? It was the only costume they had. Walmart didn't decide to make the other colors. I had to
Nobody
go with
wanted
the
to be the
green,
Yellow Ranger.
right? Or it's bad when they have the Yellow Ranger and you're just like, but that's Trini. I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
Jason.
I want to be Tommy. Everybody wants to be Tommy.
Man, if you were put in that situation, man, you had a great childhood where you're like, but I don't want to be the girl character or the girl's like, I don't want to be the guy character. You're like, that's all there was. Just wear it. Okay, I'm taking my mask off. Oh man. So we'll see what happens for the franchise and where they move forward with that. And like I said, that's just a lot of I feel comic books in the next couple of years, how much influence they're really gonna have on just a lot of the stuff that we're about to see because Hollywood's back, baby. and they're ready to start filming, and they're going to get underway with what they need to catch up with. And there's just so much going on. Loki season 2 is underway. Have you been keeping up with Loki?
No, that dropped like right at the start of Horror Fest, and
Yeah.
I'm still digging out from admin paperwork from that. So it'll probably be another week before I get caught up.
Yeah, I had every intention of catching up yesterday, and I just know, man, I fell asleep on the couch like the old person that I am now. But we'll definitely get some recaps for Loki. I do see some of the headlines I've seen is that they are really starting to show off just how powerful Kang is.
Oh,
And
good.
they're saying they're really gonna start establishing just the why he's the big villain for this next phase of Marvel.
Yeah, because I think they kind of dropped the ball with Apocalypse. I mean, that dude he's pretty powerful and he's been a menace for a while. Killed him off in one movie.
Yeah.
At least Thanos lasted a few movies.
Yeah, but Thanos, man, you just kinda you know what movie's good when Thanos, you were just like, "I don't know what's gonna happen in Endgame." It really left, and then, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, there's no spoilers because Endgame is on TNT every other day. When they kill him in the first 20 minutes of the movie, you're like, "Is that how this ends?"
Wait,
I mean, it
what?
just yeah, it was crazy, right? You're like, "Wait, we okay?" But I don't know. So they're saying that they're really starting to establish this character, why he is the big bad, for the next phase of Marvel. So I don't know, and
Not just that. There's
that's good.
many different iterations of Kang too.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm hoping Loki accomplishes in letting people know just as far as just how far his character will go. Because
Mhm.
we're definitely gonna be I mean, if you guys thought Thanos was a big bad,
No.
yeah, yeah, this is definitely gonna be one you're gonna wanna keep your eyes out for.
Yeah, yeah. I think they picked a good villain for this phase. And I like how they're slowly developing instead of him just throwing him all out there at once, going, "Hey, this guy's so bad." You're going to learn incrementally just the depth of his power. So,
And I'm wondering if Loki makes his way back to the movie side of Marvel, because I mean, he's doing great with the shows. I'm just wondering, do they say, "Okay, can this character go on back into the movies?" And if they do that, does that mean the end of the Loki series, or what's going on? Because I don't know, man. I can see this being one that really is a takeoff for them for the next couple. I can see 4 or 5 seasons of Loki, depending on how they do their story.
maybe we'll see Owen Wilson in the Avengers.
Why not, man? I mean, we kinda need him. I don't know what character he played, but
The same
I'm
one.
sure we'll find some
Yeah, right. We're going to have to prune this timeline.
the hell? Well, I guess we're gonna have to go back. Can I get a ride, please? And can it be a jet ski?
I want to go back to the 80s and get a jet ski.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll see, man. But yeah, we'll definitely get a recap for Loki next week. I'm with you, man. We haven't got a chance to catch it, but good. I can tell Hollywood's back because the amount of promo that has been out there
Yeah.
for Loki. I mean,
Are
it
the
is
actors back
everywhere.
too now?
Yes, actors are back too.
Good.
Yeah, so
About time.
yeah, which means, for you wrestling fans out there, think you get about 2 more weeks of John Cena on TV before he's gotta go back to Hollywood, which he actually stated, and, there was a recent, live event, and they did an interview with him, and he said, he was like, "Now that the strike is over, I can't do both, and I gotta get back to the scene I gotta get back to set," and obviously, he's referring to Peacemaker because James Gunn is finishing that project, he's finishing writing it, and when it's that time to get that call, it's time to go back to set.
Yeah. He probably makes more money on Peacekeeper than he does in the ring.
Yeah, he has to, man. It's guys, he's getting to that age. We don't wanna see him like Ric Flair wrestling in his 80s.
Yeah,
I
there's the
mean,
physicality of it too.
I know, man, and although people say it's fake, I was like, I would like to see him in movies and not, you know, kinda hurting to walk these days, so and he's been great in movies, man, and I know he's got a other couple films that are coming out on Netflix, that people could look forward to, so he's got a lot of projects that are set to come out in the near future.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, most of the wrestling fake and choreographed. You already know what's going to happen, but they still have to perform those. They're like stuntmen. They still have to do the jumping off the top ropes and these flips, and it just takes one wrong move,
Yeah.
and it's happened a few times, and these guys can get put in the hospital or even die.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like with Comic Con, like when you really get to sit in those panels and hear these guys tell these stories, like, yeah, what we see on TV, I think it just goes back to everything behind the scenes, man. There is a dark side to everything, man. And it's just these guys. I mean, you look at Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man, by the way, looks great,
Yeah,
but I'm sure that also came at a cost of saying, hey, I have to stop this career because I want to be able to walk.
yeah, and I didn't, watching it on TV, I didn't realize how tall Honky Tonk Man is. Dude is
Right.
like basketball tall. He's got to be at least 6'6", 6'7", because he
It's
towered over me when I was like, oh my gosh.
it's fascinating, right? You're just like, no way. I was like, the TV
Yep.
did you no justice, bro.
No, no, but that's his real voice. That's his real accent.
Yeah.
It's a very deep Southern accent.
Yeah. I mean, there's no although you gotta think the character development that they're like, yep, he's talking. We're gonna make him a honky tonk man.
I mean, yeah, you're kind of limited on what you can do with that accent.
He's not about to be Hulk Hogan. I'll just tell you. That's
No way,
honky tonk
brother.
man. Oh man. Let's see. Of course, we it seems every week we're talking about this. More price increases for some of our favorite platforms, man. Seeing another
Yeah.
increase. It looks like Disney Plus is looking at an increase. Max, Paramount, and Hulu. They're saying that they're all planned for increases by either the end or beginning of 2024. So end of 2023, beginning of 2024. Which leads us to the question: is it time to go back to cable? Because my gosh, we're getting close to $100. I mean, and that's for two streaming
Yep.
services. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, we're on the cusp of just dropping Hulu, and
Yeah,
I've always liked YouTube TV, but I jumped to Hulu because they had the Disney package. But it's getting to the point now I might just pick up Disney on its own
yeah.
and just I'm waiting for them to go a la carte. You order the shows you want, not the platform.
Yeah, and I think that would be, that could be an idea for like a blockbuster, like a major return for Blockbuster to be able to
Oh yeah,
do something like that. Like, hey, you could stream it like that. And yeah, you have it and you have it for 30 days. Just like I liked what Max was doing with these movies that they come out and you had it for 30 days to watch it before, it was off the platform.
yeah. I mean, I would subscribe to specific series or movies and stuff, or like an on demand more than I would to a platform, and they'll probably make more money, honestly, doing it that way.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. I tell you, every time I look at my bill, I'm like, wait, we went up $1? Why wasn't I notified? And then you go look at your email. Yeah, you were notified. It was right after that email that said, guess what's coming to Netflix?
Yeah, and then the little tiny print. Oh yeah, and we're raising the price.
You're like, what the heck, man? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Spooky season. So we are underway. A lot of stuff going to be happening this month. I know downtown, you guys are definitely going to have a lot of stuff going on. You guys will definitely be busy. But let's talk scary movies for as far as some of your favorite scary movies. There was recently a thing that came out that said the best date night movies, best scary movies for a date night. What would you
Oh,
think is the perfect date night scary movie?
something with a lot of jump scares to get the girl to, I guess, grab
Hug
onto
you.
your arm. I don't know. Uh, that's a tough because I'm not big into horror movies, but
Yeah.
well, is there a list? Did they put out a list?
So, of course, some of them are like the ones you said, those ones that jump scare. But the problem that I have with this list, I'm looking at it, it's a lot of the gory ones. I mean, you got like the Saws on here, and it's like Saw 2, Saw 4. The Nun is on here, which I'm like, that's makes a great movie. Let's go see The Nun. Exorcist, and what else? You got the Halloween franchise is also on here. So yeah, those are some of the movies they're saying that would make perfect
For a
for
date?
those that wanna go for a date night.
So
So
you want to
let's
make
throw it.
your date queasy and hide her face? Look, I spent $15 for this ticket. You better watch the screen.
One movie that I'm surprised I didn't see on here because I think it's just maybe it's just with the times. like the Scream movies and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, those are more thrillers, more
More
suspense.
suspense.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're scary enough that it's not, I'm gonna throw you through a blender and you're going to, it's, more of that, like you said, that jump scare,
Yeah.
but it's still enough enjoyable. So the fact that we're gonna do a, a seance, it's a little crazy for a date night.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times when they put these lists together, the people who put them together, I think, don't really have any knowledge on the topics they're writing about because
Yeah.
you read them, you're like, what? Who wrote this?
But then to classify, because like you and I have said, there's a difference between a scary movie and then just that gory, like we're gonna just like human centipede. Like that just seems gross.
Yeah, that's not even scary. That's just
It's just yeah,
uh,
right? Like and so the classification of like, okay, is this a scary movie or is this just a hey, I want to see if you'll lose your dinner? Like probably not a good thing to say after saying human centipede. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
You lose
probably
your
not a
dinner, but
good
the guy behind you gets it.
He got it. He'll take care of it for you. I don't know, man. I think of scary movies and I think of those like not even the newer remakes. Candyman was one of them. Jason. I mean,
Candyman
not
made me afraid of mirrors for a while.
it definitely did. And Candyman, I actually saw that by accident. I was a kid when that came out and I was watching. I'm like, "Oh, what's this movie?" Thinking, "Oh, it's about candy." Did not know until next thing I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the yeah, no. That's I think
One
the
of the
one
ones
and
that
only
scared
time
me was Cujo. That made me so afraid of dogs for the longest time.
dude, it's like they don't realize the trauma. But then again, that was back in the day, when you're just like, did that dog really attack them? Because we didn't know. I mean, the CGI wasn't as good as it is now that
Right.
now as nerds are like, oh, that doesn't even look real.
Oh, that's not real. Look
Oh,
at the fur. It's not moving right.
but you watch Cujo and you're just like, that dog could be outside right now waiting for me to
Yeah.
attack
Yeah, I
me.
started when because I lived out in the country, so I was always looking around, and it's not like here. We had a lot of trees and forests and stuff, so people could be hiding anywhere.
Yeah, no, and like I told you last week, Blair Witch Project, because living in the middle of nowhere, then finding out you lived where the Blair Witch Project was
Yeah.
filmed, but
Yeah,
it's
it
still that
doesn't look anything like that.
yeah, but still, it's that thought though, because for some of us that live out in the middle of nowhere with the scenery like that, you start to wonder, hey, I gotta walk to my bus stop and it's with all these trees.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
You never turn your back to the trees.
Right, I'm sitting there going in circles trying to just walk to my bus stop or walking in the middle of the night in the desert, like, hello.
Looking over your shoulder the whole way, just
No, man, it was the classic ones, man. The ones back from the 80s and the 90s. Those are some, you're talking prime time, just scary movies. Now, with how much blood and guts can we give you? I mean, there's some fans
yeah.
that love that, and there's some that are just like, no, man, I'm good. And I think that's probably my problem. I don't like the queasy side of, you know,
Yeah, I'm more
the
of the
horror.
suspense ones, like the one we watched recently, we watched Megan a couple weeks ago. It was really, really good, and there wasn't a whole lot of blood and guts, but it was very it had that scare element to it.
Yeah, see, and I don't mind that. But like even maybe it's just the suspense side of things that I think I'm probably more drawn to than the, you
Yeah.
know, I know what you did last summer. Ah, then they just there you go. I just put a knife through your neck. Like, no, I don't need that. And you can't even walk around the kitchen because you're just sitting there like, no,
Oh,
it's
look, more blood. Oh.
that's that's great. Yeah. That's why I watched Saw 1 and 2, and I was very queasy when I remember watching those movies. Never understood why they continued. Just never understood why those movies had such a and they do have such a drawing that people love those movies, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, "You can't do that, man."
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but, if that's what you enjoy, good. I'm not one to crap on somebody else's, genre, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's tough watching for me, man, but does the horror franchise, though, have they generate quite a bit of money, though? I mean, even I know we're talking about a lot of these mainstay ones, like the big projects, but, last week we mentioned about how there's a lot of these, like, movies that were, independent projects. They're up and coming directors, and those seem to have some really good storylines. I mean, the only thing that was missing was the big budget, but really good movies that have these cult followings that people it becomes tradition for them to watch them before Halloween.
Yeah, it used to be tradition to watch, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, before Halloween, and now we've moved on to Friday the 13th.
Hey, y'all know what me and Troy were watching, right? Then not a big scary
It
movie
was
people, but
it was
Charlie Brown.
Grinch night. They made a Halloween Grinch movie, actually. It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and there was another one because that was before on demand, and
Yeah.
they would only play it once a year. It was on that Halloween night at a specific time.
Oh, Troy, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day because there was a third one.
Yeah, I
Because
can't
it was like
remember it off the top of my head.
clockwork. It was like
Yep,
clockwork because it would always like that was like the big TV, and it would be like on channel 7. It was like,
ABC.
"Wait."
Yeah,
Sorry. For those that are like, "Wait, what's a channel 7?"
Wait,
Back then
channel like on
there was no
YouTube.
yeah. You're like, so you guys did have on demand. No, we didn't. We had a VHS. If we wanted it, we'd have to catch it and record it. Oh god, Troy, that's
Yeah, and
gonna
they do the
bug
same
me.
thing. They did the same thing at Christmas with the Christmas ones. It was usually the Baskin, uh, stop motion Rudolph stuff.
Yeah, Rudolph, oh my
Island of
god,
Misfit Toys.
there was no one Shot My Eye Out, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
god, the one for Christmas, they show it for 24 hours on TBS every year for Christmas.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Rolf is in it.
You don't need a
Oh,
BB
man.
gun.
Huh?
So you don't need a BB gun. You shoot your eye out.
Yes, Christmas Story.
That's it.
Oh, man, I don't know what's going on with me today. I cannot remember movies. So
It's age.
yeah, I guess it is. I gotta start writing these things down. I'm gonna start
I
holding a piece of
remember.
paper. You remember back in the day, we used to have to rewind the tape.
Be kind, rewind.
Because you know what's bad though? If you really think about it, if you tell someone that, hey, rewind, if you're on like Netflix,
Uh-huh.
kids are probably like, what am I like? What do
It,
you mean rewind?
it's
You mean
we had a separate machine to rewind so it didn't wear our VCR out.
yeah,
It was
it was
that's
a
all it did was rewind VCR tapes.
by the way, I was always jealous because my cousin had one that looked like a Ferrari. And then it would pop open, and then you would put the cassette, and it would because it was going fast. It was hey man, they used to trick us a lot back in the day. They used to say it goes faster than a card when it rewinds, and
Oh
no, it
yeah.
didn't. It's just because it was the design. That's how they got you guys.
Our first VCR, the remote was a wired remote. It had a
Oh
6 foot
dang!
wire to the remote. We rearranged the living room so my dad could do the remote from the couch.
No, I'll do you one better. We had the one where the buttons, and then if you lost the button, you would have to take a pin and sit there and
Yep.
poke to punch the and yeah, it had no remote. So we had to become the remote. So if they told us to change it to channel 3, we had to go there with this pin and try to poke it. And then it was
Did you have
good
the
old days.
remotes that when they used to call them clickers, that would actually push a button down, it would click, and it had a rod that vibrated at a
Yes.
certain frequency? That's where the
Yes.
word that's where the word clicker came from, basically. That
Hey,
remote actually clicked.
guys, this is a history lesson for everybody that loves their 4K, their 85-inch TVs, their
We had
surround sounds
we didn't have
wireless.
4K, we had K.
Yeah, we had color. We're just lucky we had color, okay?
Technicolor.
There you go. And then it was live in stereo.
Dolby.
There you go. Man.
DTS.
Oh, well, today's edition was brought to you by AARP, and you can get your free coffee at any breakfast establishment if you show your card today. So, thank you for joining the show today. It is now nap time for a lot of us.
It is 11.
It
Gotta get
really
up at
is.
3 o'clock so I can go get dinner at Golden Corral.
You know, oh, bro, I'll see you there before 4. Troy, they want to keep up with you on the socials. How can they stay up to date with you guys?
Well, we dropped the X finally.
Yeah,
It was time. So we got Insta, we got Meta, we got YouTube, and we got TikTok.
that's right. Follow them on the TikTok. I follow you guys on the TikTok. You guys always have some great content. Some content definitely keeps us entertained. Make sure you guys stay up with them on there. Me on the TikToky, Joey on the FM. On Instagram, it's Hot 103's Big Show. Give us a follow there, and Big Show FM on Instagram. Till then, this has been another edition of Zia Comic Weekly's Get Off My Lawn. We'll see y'all next week.
Later, nerds.